Anudip is from Australia, is that?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Right
what's
now
your
it's 6:30 p.m.
PM? So you are ahead of Malaysia then. Okay. So you are
Okay.
down there. So good evening. I'm also in the evening here. And one
Oh,
more person from, where is he from? Apart from Anu?
Sudarshan sir from Sweden.
What's your time,
It's
Sudarshan?
10:30 a.m.
So you are quite early in the morning still, no worries.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to just share a link. I'm going to share a link with all of you. I'm going to put it on the chat window basically. Please, please keep that link because any training manuals, any of the content I'll be sharing on that particular link. So that will be your link as long as you're with us for the training here. And if you need any content, do let us know. We'll try our best to provide it to you. Okay, just to introduce myself, I'm Rama. I'm actually based in Malaysia. I'm a Malaysian actually. And I've been in this IT industry for about 22 years right now, in cybersecurity nearly for about 14 years right now. Okay. Coming back to my competencies, yes, we do a lot of consultings in Malaysia and around the region. I do a lot of consultants for the US Navy in Guam actually. Okay. We do a lot of things for the US Navy in Guam. Apart from that training, I've been doing training for about 20 years right now. I think there's some echoing somewhere. Let's see. Yeah, I think should be okay. Okay, so as long as CompTIA is concerned, I have most of the CompTIA certifications, whatever CompTIA. In fact, I do a lot of TTT for CompTIA around the region. And then I'm also a CISSP. As long as Cisco is concerned, I'm a quad CCIE. I have 4 CCIEs with me. And then I'm also a Microsoft certified trainer. Okay, so I think why not introduce, we have 8 of you, if I'm right around, why not introduce yourself? What do you do? And what is your experience in security? Not necessarily cyber security, as long as IT security is concerned. And what are your expectations from this training? Okay, we'll start with Gohan. Is Gohan around?
Yeah. Good afternoon. Yeah, good afternoon. This is Gugan. I have 12 years of experience in IT infrastructure.
Okay. Are you working right now?
Yeah, working.
Okay.
I'm working as a manager in IT infrastructure.
Okay. Where do you work?
I work to a company named Tata International Limited in Chennai.
Okay. Okay.
With respect to information security, this is my first session, and whatever I know already or only through some practical experience and Googling it. The professional training means this is my first training.
Okay, go ahead. Thank you. Yes, Anudip, why not go ahead?
Hello, good afternoon, sir. My name is Anudip.
Yep.
So I just completed my master's in IT, which is in computer networking. So I don't have any experience in IT. So which I'm so passionate about security stuff.
Okay.
So now I want to learn this kind of security, not only this one, any computer networking.
Okay.
So this why I want to be in this professional, as I studied a master's in IT, which is in computer background. So I just want to learn a little bit about security. Okay. And this is my first class.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you go to Australia to do your master's, or are you working down there?
No, I went for master's, and so because here I have to wait for my full-time rights if I want to work in any IT field.
Okay.
So I think this is a chance where I doesn't do any kind of certification till now, where I have only masters. So I have
Okay.
some only internship experience.
Okay.
So if I gain some knowledge in security side, so that will be helpful for me in future.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Australia with CompTIA certification and all, you got better chances of getting employment actually.
Yes, sir. Because Ramesh sir told me about what exactly it goes for
Yes.
next 15 years. So I was pretty much interested to do this one.
Okay. Thanks very much, Anil.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yes, Sudarshan.
Hi, all. So I'm Sudarshan, working in the IT infrastructure for last 14 years. Right now,
Okay.
I'm in Sweden, working from the company HCL Sweden AB, and then client is IKEA, where I'm
Okay.
supporting them in the identity and access management, identity governance, and access governance.
Okay.
And now we are just moving the next ahead of the security and other thing. So thought of learning about the security, what is exactly and other things. And this is my first session related to security.
Okay, Sudarshan. Thanks very much. Yes, Balakannan.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Balakannan.
Yes, sir. I have been working in the IT industry for past 14 years. In the past 2.5 years, I have been working for HCL for cybersecurity team, and
Okay.
where I am here providing support for vulnerability management
Okay.
to shared module projects.
Okay. 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 Thanks, Balakannan. Santosh.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. I have 8 years of experience in IT industry,
Okay.
and only 1 year in transmission engineer, and the other 7 are related to security fields.
Okay.
That means I have been jumped from one security domain to another. That means like PCI audit, IS audit, and other things.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, now I am into totally into technical sides of security.
Okay. Thanks, Santosh.
Yeah.
Yes, Kartikeya.
Hello, sir. This is Karthik here. Good
Yes.
afternoon, sir. I have experience of 4 years in system administrator, sir.
Okay. Okay.
I want to gain knowledge in security, and I spoke with Ramesh sir. He said the security has more value in any other field.
Because you cannot be stuck with network infrastructure forever. You have to start moving ahead of it, basically.
Okay, okay.
So when you say system admin, are you involved only in Windows? Or are you also familiar with Linux?
Only in Windows, sir.
Okay.
Not in Linux. Yeah.
But again, it's always good to pick up a bit of Linux because a lot of things work on Linux basically.
Okay, sir. Okay, okay. I will try to learn.
Thank you very much,
Okay.
Karthikeyan.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Rudresh.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. I have a total of 10 years of experience, sir. I work as a system administrator,
Okay.
and currently I work for a company called Strategent, where it involves basically operations, which include system management and as well as a little bit of cloud management.
Okay. Okay. So, Cloud, are you only involved in with a specific vendor or multi-vendor?
Sir, it's like not fully cloud because we only take care of the operation like system administration jobs.
Okay.
But I'm aware of Azure Cloud, and
Okay.
even I'm more interested towards learning security. So I just wanted to make my mainstream as security. Initially, I started off with little bit of learning basics
Okay.
and some soft tool, but unfortunately, I did not get any real-time experience.
Okay.
So that's why I thought of let me get back and do it in a proper way.
Okay. Thanks very much, Rudresh.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Finally, Sudarshan. Is Sudarshan around?
So just
Yeah.
to
Sudarshan
introduce
already,
myself.
yes, sir. He has completed, sir.
Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah.
Sir, one more, just I need to want to share one information
Yes.
that Anudeep and Rudresh both are mother tongue is Telugu. So remaining people, their language is Tamil. So,
but anyhow, somehow, I think all understand Tamil. So the whole session is going to be in English. So
yes, sir.
that doesn't come into the picture here at all. Okay. Moving forward with our training, basically, when you're looking at your security training, I assume, yeah, Ramesh would have updated you. You'll be going through 3 modules of training, which starts off with CompTIA Security Plus. Let me see. Yeah, which starts off with CompTIA Security Plus, where we are currently. After that, you'll be moving on to your Cyber Security Analyst, and then finally into your pen test stream. Pen test. Okay, 4 areas of training. So each one has its exam on its own from CompTIA. And if you're looking at the exam, you will have a combination of multiple choice questions as well as some simulations. So when you say simulations, it's going to be like drag and drop, all those stuff in those exams. And when you look at the pass percentage for CompTIA Security Plus, is going to be 750. I think all the exams are 750 out of 900. Okay, all the exams are 750 out of 900. You'll roughly have about 75 questions for each. And the total time is going to be roughly about 180 minutes. Okay, it's going to be 180 minutes. Yes, I think the 2 people who may have a disadvantage here are our participants from Australia and Sweden, because if you have an Australia and Sweden address, what's going to happen? You fall under the English-speaking countries. I think India is also the same, sorry. So all of you will have the same issue. Unless you are in the other parts of the region like Malaysia, Brunei, all these countries are considered as non-English speaking countries, so we get an additional 30 minutes. But India is still also considered as an English speaking country, because when I took a couple of exams in India, I didn't have the 30 minutes, extra 30 minutes. Yeah. So that doesn't make any changes. I think all of you are on the same boat, so you got no issues with it. And then coming back to your hardware, there are a few options basically for your labs. One option is you could buy the online labs. Okay, you could get the online labs. I'll show you the online labs in a moment. Or if you want to install it on your own local machine, yes, you can install it on your local machine. Your local machine must support virtualization. So I know we have a lot of system admins here. So for your hardware to support virtualization, what processor must you have? For me, I would suggest you either have an i5 or a i7 processor. These 2 for sure I know will support virtualization. If you're using AMD processor, this is basically from Intel. The other option, you could have an AMD processor. Look at the processor, whether it supports virtualization. And then coming back to your hard drive, I would suggest you, if you have a solid state drive, that would be a better option because processing will be faster on a virtual machine. Okay, processing is going to be much faster on a virtual machine. And then coming back to your RAM, because we'll be running a Windows Server machine, Windows client machine, apart from that also a Kali Linux box. So in total, I would suggest you have at least 16 GB of memory. These are the suggested hardware requirements. Otherwise, what's going to happen? Your machine is going to basically run very, 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 very slow. If you're going to use basically only 8 GB of RAM. Okay, if you use 8 gig of RAM, it's going to run very, very slow. That will be the hardware requirements if you want to run the lab locally on your machine. The other option is you could purchase an online lab from CompTIA for each training individually. Okay, for each training individually, I'll show you how it is. How it works, I'll show you. If you want to purchase the labs, I think Ramesh could organize a better deal. If you go online, it is about 110 US, which is too expensive. Ramesh could get you a better pricing if you guys really want. Let me just give you a view of how it looks like. For me, I use a lot of their online labs basically because they have a lot of processors, everything in place, so I don't have to worry because this is cloud-based. So let me get into lab here. So everything is online. Lab scanning and identifying networks. And access to these labs will be for 1 year for all of you if you purchase it. So the choice is yours. You can set it up on your local machine. I'll share the lab setup with everyone. Or if you feel you do not have the necessary hardware, it's going to be very slow, you could think of purchasing this. That is, you have two options basically. And if any of you got any questions, do let me know. You could unmute yourself and talk. Now, the first time it takes a couple of minutes to load up their virtual machines. And for me to actually do all the demos, I'll be using the online labs. It's going to be easier for me. So if you look here, again, they'll give you the step-by-step. Again, if you look at the resources, they have a domain controller. They also have a client machine. Let's see what this client machine is basically. Then control delete. So I assume this is again, let's put in the password. in. So this is another Windows Server machine. You also have a domain controller here. And then you have another CentOS machine. You also have a Kali Linux machine. Kali Linux is going to be the attacker's machine. Then you also have this is going to be your, again, another Linux machine on the environment basically. Okay. And when it comes to the labs, basically, yes, it's going to give you the step-by-step instructions, what to do, what tools to use. Basically, you have the step-by-step instructions. Okay. So if anyone is interested in getting these labs, you can actually talk to Ramesh on this. Otherwise, we will have the labs installed and I will share the installation files with you. I'll send you the installation guide. I'll put it on the shared folder and you can install it on your local machine. No worries about it. Anyone got any questions on this? So similarly for each and every module, CompTIA has come up with the labs. And if you want to install it on your local machine, yes, I will send you the installation guide and you can install that. Do any of you have any questions on this? Yes, it's going to be a long way for us to travel because we're only going to do it on Sundays, Indian time 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. So we are estimating roughly about 20 to 22 weeks to complete. And as we go through, once we finish your Security Plus, whoever is preparing for the exam, let me tell you again, yes, you can go through the trainings and everything. The value is there only if you go and sit for your certification exam and pass the certification exam. Certification exams are very, very vital in today's world. Without certification, getting a job is not going to be easy. Has anyone got any questions here?
No, sir. All so far so good.
Okay, thank you very much. So looking at your CompTIA, coming back, if Ramesh is there or Serian, so today we have about 6 of them here, right? 1, 2,
Yes,
3.
sir.
So in total, how much is it going to be? 8 or 10?
In total, we'll have 10 or 9, sir.
Okay, no
In
worries.
total, we'll have 10, sir.
No problem. Okay, because we also I want the rest of them also not to lose out on this. So in general, we'll look at your CompTIA Security Plus exam, your exam requirements basically, or what are you going to study in CompTIA Security Plus. Overall, like what I mentioned, even to Ramesh, we will have 80 to 88 hours. That means a maximum of 22 4-hour sessions to complete your CompTIA Security Plus, Cybersecurity Analyst, and also your pen test modules. So when you're looking at your CompTIA Security Plus, the areas where you'll be, we have already done this. So your course objectives, you're going to compare security roles and security controls. We'll look at the different types of threat actors and threat intelligence, also perform security assessments and identify social engineering attacks and malware types. So we'll be looking at, yes, what are the different types of malwares? We'll start off with virus, move on with Trojans, and then we'll also touch on cryptographic concepts and implementing your public key infrastructure. Those who are involved, even if you are involved in network infrastructure, you would have come across your certificate authority. So we'll be looking at CAs when we implement your PKIs. Okay. Then we'll also look at implementing authentication controls. And then we will move ahead with IAM, identity, your IAM, where we'll also look at a few things like open auth. And then we'll also touch on SAML. We also have the single sign-on. We'll be touching all these areas, and all these three will be repeated in your Security Plus, CYSA, as well as your pen test. So because we are doing back-to-back, once I do this here, when it comes to the other modules, I'll not be touching that, but it's good for you to remember because it will be touched from your exam perspective. And then implementing secure network designs, network security, appliances, security and network protocols. Because all of you are from a networking background, I assume you should be good on your switching and routing. When I say good, I don't expect an intermediate level, at least your fundamental levels on switching and networking. So a very quick question. You want to make sure your network is secure, either on a switch environment or a network environment. What will you do? Anyone can pick up this question. Nobody is right, nobody is wrong here. It's just your opinion here. So I want to make sure my switching environment is safe. And I have 4 departments. One is a sales, another one is a HR, another one could be marketing, another one could be finance. I want to make sure they are in a very safe environment and they should not be able to communicate to one another. So looking from a switching environment, how are you going to, at a very basic level, how will you make sure they are secured enough? Any of you? Again, I tell you, don't be shy to talk or anything. Start whatever you have.
We need to have a different VLANs.
Have a different
VLANs in terms of switching.
Yeah, perfect. So you're basically going to segment your network, right? So on a switching environment, you're going to create VLANs. If it's going to be on a network environment, what will you do?
I think we need to have a firewall.
Okay, I'll also go back to your switching. You have VLANs. When you create a VLAN, how about your IP addressing? Let's say I have VLAN 2, VLAN 2, VLAN 3, and VLAN 4. And I have a network of 192.168.1.0/24. So are you going to assign 192.168.1.1 to 1. Example 50/24, 1.51 to 1.101/24, and 1.102 to 1.150/24. Are you going to do this, or are you going to do something different? No problem, just talk out. Just speak out, we can correct ourselves.
See, basically what I'll do is I'll put a restriction on this VLANs. Or like only use open up certain ports. Okay. If I'm not wrong.
Okay, whenever you do VLANs, remember, if I do this structure here, what I've given, later on, if you want to do inter-VLAN routing, it's not going to work at all. Inter-VLAN routing will not work because, yes, by creating VLANs here, VLAN 2, VLAN 3, and VLAN 4 will not be able to communicate with this IP address also. But the problem later on, if as an administrator, you want VLAN 2 to communicate to VLAN 3, it will not be able to communicate. Because if you look at the network address, it is all the same. You will not be able to do inter-VLAN routing. So whenever you do VLANs, even your addressing must be subnetted. So they must use a hierarchical address scheme. Example here, VLAN 2, I'm just giving an example. It should be in 192.168.1.0/27, 192.168.1.32/27, and 192.168.1.64/27. So they should be subnetted and their addresses must be hierarchical basically. Now what's going to happen? Later on as an administrator, if I want somebody from VLAN 2 to communicate to VLAN 3, I can enable inter-VLAN routing. I assume you guys are familiar with inter-VLAN routing and subnetting. Okay, subnetting is something very important. Do let me know if you are not comfortable on this. We can discuss on that because it's not part of your security module. In security, he will always talk to you about put them in different VLANs, have them segmented in their networks. So this is what he means basically. Okay. Then we'll touch a bit on embedded systems, IoT, and mobile security solutions, where we'll be using a MDM solution, mobile device management, when we touch on mobile security. Then implementing secure cloud solutions, touching a bit on cloud. And then privacy and protection concepts is going to be more theoretical. And perform incident response and digital forensics. And then look at risk management concepts and implement cybersecurity resilience. And because you can have the best of logical security like permissions and everything, if they are not properly protected physically, everything can be compromised. So we'll also look at physical security. Yeah, that's what these are the modules you'll be covering during the progress of your Security Plus training. Yes, I will also share the slides with all of you in the shared folder. All of you can have access to this. And for the training manual, we'll also put it on the shared folder. So yes, this will be the flow of your training. So in total, this should be about 30 hours. That's why it's a if it's a full-time class, then it's going to be 30 hours basically. Any questions you guys have on this? We'll take it off very slowly today. We'll move on to, I'm not going to rush because we got still a few more participants to join with us, but at least for a start, because all of you are around, we'll start off with lesson 1, comparing security roles and your security controls in place. Okay, before we move forward, any questions, anyone?
So on behalf of students, I will ask some question. I think some people, they are not coming forward for question.
No, I think there's nothing to, again, let me tell you, it's just sharing of your opinion, nothing to feel shy, because you don't ask, you will be the loser. Don't, again, remember, you must be glad you're on a virtual training, nobody is seeing you. So just, you may think it could be a stupid question, but let me tell you, sometimes what you think could be useful for the whole class. So there's nothing as a silly question or stupid question here. Whatever you think, please voice out.
I'm requesting y'all, please kindly use the opportunity. If you want to step into the security professionals, this is the right time, right opportunity. Please make use of sir to make yourself to be in a security domain. Okay, don't shy yourself. By asking question only, you can understand everything. Okay, it is not if you are not asking, definitely you will lose so many things. Even it is a small things also, you no need to worry about. Just ask, throw the question.
Just
If it is a, if this kind of opportunity, if I am getting, I will ask several questions. Okay, even if you are experienced, don't feel yourself. Just ask. This is my humble request. Yes, sir.
Okay, Ramesh, you got any questions or not, Ramesh? Like you said, you wanted to ask on behalf of the participants.
Yes, sir. I want to ask some question.
Again, sometimes if you feel you want to talk in Tamil, please go ahead. Never feel shy here.
So I think I say everyone will have one question in the mind before starting this session.
Okay.
So once I completed this security plus and COISA plus and pentest plus, shall I? It is possible to make me to successful in the security domain. Some people already they are into the security domain. Some people they want to migrate into this security domain. This is what everyone will have questions.
Yes.
This is the basic question everyone will have, sir.
Yes.
So you please tell them how to how they can success in this.
Okay, because you're going through a very structured training, and CompTIA is basically a well-recognized certification all around the world. And because again, you're going through a structured training, even you apply for a security job, they're going to interview you. And in this training, you'll be using a lot of tools on looking at security issues. So when you go for an interview, because you have gone through a systematic training, you'll be able to answer most of the questions. Because again, when you apply for a job, you're not going to go and join a high-end job or whatever. It's going to be, again, a startup job, basically. So it'll be easier for you to answer questions and you'll understand the concepts. In security, it's all about concepts, whether you understand the concepts and how are you going to basically apply your concepts in the real world. So it'll be easier when you go through all these 3 sets of trainings. Yes, even let me take, to do a pen test is very simple, but if you go and attend an interview, they're going to ask you a question. So we have engaged you as a pen tester. What do you do next? So because you have been engaged as a pen tester, you cannot just do pen testing. You have things like, you must get a proper letter of engagement. So in a letter of engagement, what do you have? What are the systems you can test? Okay, and during which hours can you test? So there are a lot of things. Pen testing is not about, yes, I go down there and test all the systems. No. Before you do a pen test, you have something known as the pre-phase, basically. During the pre-phase, you'll have to get your letter of engagement. Apart from that, you also have your SOW, basically. Okay, so you have to get all this in place before even you can touch any of the systems in any network. So you'll go through a methodology, basically, how to basically go through all your security processes. Any questions?
Yeah, we got it. That we understood that part. Yeah.
Okay. Any other question, Ramesh?
No, sir.
Suddenly your voice went low, sir.
Okay, how is it now? Better?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. This is the basic questions our students will have.
Yes.
I think once slowly they will ask some question. I can talk to them.
Yeah, I think because this is the first day, yeah, everybody is just still stuck, not an issue. But apart from that, I hope all of you are safe. Okay, especially in India.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How is the situation in Australia? I think Australia is under control. Sweden is also under control. But India, I think, still maintaining the 400,000 mark right now.
But in Chennai, from tomorrow onwards, Tamil Nadu will be 14 days complete lockdown.
Same thing, even in Malaysia right now, our cases are slowly rising. We are on a total lockdown right now.
Okay.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah, carry on.
Sir, nowadays all things are getting automated, and even people are moving towards cloud.
Yes.
So how will it impact security domain? Because if all things are being automated, then what will a security guy will be doing?
Okay.
This is general question. I just wanted to know.
I agree with you. Everybody has that question, Rudresh. Everybody has that question. If you're from a network infrastructure perspective, if you're automated, a lot of people are going to lose jobs. But if you're looking from a security perspective, remember, you can have the best security, you can automate everything. But again, you have things like your false positives and everything happening across. You still need the human eye. Let's go and sit in a security operations center. In a security operations center, what is going to happen? You need the human eye to have a look at everything. You can have the best automated tools. Things can bypass. So that's why I basically say, from a security perspective, you will never lose your job. In fact, in today's world, from a security perspective, you need a lot of people. Let's say if you're working if you're working on a networking environment, let's say you're working on Cisco devices, you can be working on Juniper devices and everything. Your networking right now, you are physically configuring your network devices. Now, from your networking perspective, how are you managing your network? Are you physically managing it, or have you moved on to software-defined networks? Most of the organizations have moved on to software-defined networks. So what's going to happen? You're going to basically split your control plane and your data plane. Remember, so far you have your routers. On your routers, you have your control plane and your data plane basically. Both of them are on the same device. Now you go to each device to configure. Now what is happening? The data plane is where your hardware is. We have segregated that control plane out. Now control plane is different. I can have multiple devices right now. From the control plane, I do all the configuration and push all the devices. So what's going to happen? People in the network infrastructure area are going to lose jobs because the guys who are good in SDNs will take control right now. Whereas security is concerned, you need the physical eye to look at every packet movement. So from a security perspective, you are still short of people around the world. So people with a security background will never lose their jobs.
Okay, thank you, sir. I got it.
No
Sir, I can ask some more question also, sir. We are for student. So, see, for example, freshers are there. Okay, some people, those who are completing their engineering or any graduation.
Correct.
Okay, then another is that guys, those who are all working in system administrator and IT backgrounds.
Yes.
So what is the opportunity after completing this course, CompTIA Security Plus and CYSA Plus and Pen Test Plus? How they can differentiate? What is the value of fresher and what is the value of this experienced people?
Okay, we'll put it this way. Yes, we have fresh graduates and everybody coming out. But if you want to move into a security area, basically, your fundamentals on your networking must be good and also your operating systems. When you take a fresh person coming into an industry, if he wants to move directly into cybersecurity, even an employer who's going to employ him, he will think twice. But people with already a system background or even a networking background, they are very comfortable with the operating system and the networks. Now, if they want to migrate into a security area, basically, it will be much more easier. And from an employee's perspective, they're going to basically trust these guys better than a fresh graduate who has just completed his degree. He wants to come into cybersecurity. Because you need to know your operating systems well. You need to know your networking well. Only if you're good in networking and your operating systems, you will know how to implement your security. And again, like what I mentioned a short while ago, while you're going through your CompTIA Security Plus, while you're going through your CYSA, they're going to basically say segment your network. So what do you mean by segmentation of your network? If you are from a network infrastructure background, you will know what do you mean by segmenting the network. Maybe I'll have to place them in each subnet, or I can also put them on a different VLAN. So with experience on a network infrastructure, moving on to a security area will be much more safer because you understand the concepts better. Any questions?
From system administrator to security, they are moving.
Yes.
So then that how the experience they can match, how they can show this is I was already in system administrator, but
Okay.
now so far I completed my security plus and CYSA plus and pen test plus with some certification.
Okay.
So either it is possible they can show their experience, they can match their experience with the previous experience, or they have to show it is a fresh experience like that.
No, because when you have a certification, normally with CompTIA certification, I'm not sure how it goes in India, but with multinational companies, they with your pen test certification, it's equivalent to about 24 months of experience, basically. They count it as about 2 years of experience. Because a person, for him to pass a pen test, if he doesn't go through the certification program, only if you have about 24 months of experience, it will help them prepare for the exam. But going through the certification program, during your training, basically certification training, you gain what is equivalent to a 24 months of practical experience, because you'll be using a lot of tools here, like what I showed you, even the environment, you'll be basically attacking servers, basically. You're going to find out vulnerabilities on remote servers, basically. So it'll get, even when you apply a job with a pen test certification, it is equivalent to of having about 24 months of work experience.
Okay, sir. Then what is the job title, that is roles given to the fresher side after this?
Okay. You could be basically taken in as a information security engineer, or you could also be taken in as a analyst. You could also be, people can also employ you as a VAPT, basically vulnerability assessor, basically. So job scope is a lot, basically, for security person, basically, especially when you finish CompTIA Security Plus, CISA, because CISA talks to you about security analyst, basically. From a security analyst perspective, yes, you're going to basically look at the vulnerabilities, how to fix your vulnerabilities, basically, right? Like system patching. So there's a lot of scope for even a system analyst, basically.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. That's all from my end.
No problem. Anyone, any questions? So what we thought, basically today we'll have an introduction session. If you guys got any questions, we'll answer that. And I think, Ramesh, I'm not sure if we can start the real training next week.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Then also, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly at 2 o'clock we will start, sir. I also informed to the student.
Yeah.
So they will be present. And today, 3 of them they asked some permission.
No problem.
Definitely from next week onwards, they will attend.
Yes. Again, what I'll do, maybe Ramesh, if you have any material, you can also put it on the shared folder. Yes, and Sarian, Ramesh, and myself, we will coordinate together, because we do not want to duplicate any materials in the shared folder. One option, I think what I'll do is, I will not also put everything inside here. Anything, we will forward it to Sarian. Okay, Ramesh? So yes, Sarian put it on the shared folder, because if I put something, Sarian puts something, then that could be duplicates happening down there. I do not want any duplication to take place. So Sarian will put everything, let him go through it, and then he'll put it on the shared folder. That will be easier for all of us.
Yes, sir.
Sure, sir.
Okay, any other questions? All of you here. Guhan, Anudip, Balakannan, Santosh, Kartigeyan, Sudarshan, and Rudrash.
I think, Santosh, you have some questions, no? While during our counseling, you are asking some question about that some another certifications. You please ask what is required from your end.
Yeah. So yeah, since like we are like in moving up the career, we need to complete the IS certification as of now, like
Okay.
a CASP plus the cyber advanced security practitioner, that certification. So
Which certification are you talking of? CISN?
CISP plus.
CISP or CISSP?
CISSP is the ultimate.
Correct.
I am saying about CASP plus.
Oh, CASP. Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
That is from CompTIA actually.
Yeah, that's so CISSP is the ultimate one. So
Yeah, that's the ultimate. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's not the certificate. Okay.
yeah. Before going into CISSP, I thought of completing CISP plus.
Okay,
So
CASP.
yeah, that will help me to move up the career across the move up the ladder in my career perspective.
Okay.
So I was just discussing this with Ramesh like 2 days back. So, yeah.
But for you to move ahead, if you have no security background, moving into CASP sometimes could be difficult. So the pathway, what CompTIA tells you also is security plus. Then you move on to either CYSA or pen test. Or you can do both, not a problem. And then move on to CASP plus. Okay, because CASP plus is also going to talk to you about policies and all those stuff. He will also be talking to you about forensic investigation, where in pen test, we also will be covering a lot of things on forensic investigation. So that is basically the pathway. So CASP will be the ultimatum from a CompTIA certification perspective.
Yeah, understood. Yeah. Understood.
No worries. Anybody else, any questions? Santosh is fine. So I think because today we just wanted to have it as an introduction session, so nothing much, because none of you got any other questions. From next week onwards, we'll make sure we utilize our complete 4 hours, which will also include, again, on the shared folder, I will send to Sarian the lab setup file. He can actually put it on the shared folder by tomorrow. So those who are planning to use your own hardware to set up the labs, go ahead with it, not a problem at all. But those who want to buy the remote labs, you can communicate with Ramesh on that, and then make sure you have some kind of lab access when we start class next week.
Sir, I have one more question.
Yeah, carry on, no problem.
See, in security domain also, there are different subversion like auditing and vulnerability tests. Can you tell what exactly the differences are between these things?
Okay, vulnerability, whenever you see from a security perspective, you have, the first thing you will look at is information security. And then, yes, you're also looking at VAPT, vulnerability assessment and pen testing, and you have auditing. Auditing is the ultimatum. You need to have experience in information security, vulnerability assessment, and all those stuff. So when you look at auditing, yes, who has gone into the network? What are the weakness you have on your systems? So that will be your auditing. When will you be good in auditing? If you know how to look at vulnerabilities on a system. If you know what are the vulnerabilities exist on a system, Then the next stage will be auditing, basically. So if you want to become an auditor, yes, there's a certification which is known as CISA, basically. Okay, information security auditor. For that, from a practical experience, I would recommend people to go have experience of vulnerability assessment and vulnerability management. Any questions?
So is there any order which we need to follow, sir, or it is totally a different streamline?
For CISA, is it?
It's not only CISA, like what is a basic? First I'll learn ethical hacking, next I'll go to pen testing, like that. There is an order, right? That
For
part
you, initially, you must know the fundamentals of security. Once you know the fundamentals of security, even in our Security Plus, we'll always be looking at protecting your information from CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So the whole concept of security is behind CIA. How are you going to protect against confidentiality, integrity, and availability? Even to protect your resources is going to be against this. So when you look at vulnerability assessment, yes, when you're looking at, if you're looking at a VA, basically vulnerability assessment, you have to make sure you are protecting your information against confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So the flow, yes, you need to have the fundamentals of security. Once you know the fundamentals of security, you need to exactly know where your vulnerabilities are, your VA, and then you go towards your pen testing. So you don't have to always think about CEH here, because whatever you do in pen testing is an equivalent to your CEH. So that will be the flow. Learn the fundamentals of security, then move on to vulnerability assessment, then move on to pen test.
I think Rudresh, you got the answer, correct?
Yes, sir, I got it. Thank you.
So it means that, sir, with your permission,
Yeah,
I think so. He is asking something like, see, what you have taken the path is right path.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what Security Plus, CYSA Plus, and Pen Test Plus. Definitely no need to worry on that. You'll definitely become a security professional. Like you can become a vulnerability assessment and pen test engineer also, something like that.
Yes. Yes.
Correct, sir? Am I right, sir?
Yeah, correct, Ramesh. Yes.
Yes, sir. So now you clear, no? Rudresh?
Yes, sir, I got it. I'm clear now.
Very good. Okay. Like Rudresh, I think everyone should ask some questions. Then otherwise there is no use of attending the classes.
Because I think everybody will have the same type of question in their mind running. So once one speaks out, then the others are just taking it for granted. Not an issue at all. But again, I think Ramesh and Serian has put all of us in a group. At any time you got any questions, just pop up your questions on the group, and we'll take time to answer you back.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, because the rest are silent, I assume there are no questions. So Ramesh, I think we'll call it off a day. Let's not start the topic today. We have 3 more people to join us, and we'll start next Sunday at 2 p.m. sharp.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.